Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott. Hey, you are on the Prog Corner Sunday live stream, and it's just like the old days, man. We got the whole cast. Oh, what a motley crew we put together. Welcome to the show, boys and girls. It's my 63rd birthday, so that's why I'm wearing this ridiculous hat.
Happy birthday.
It's cool, right?
Birthday, man.
It says happy birthday on there. Kind of hard to see with all the crazy stage lighting I have in here. But today on the program, I have put together an all-star panel because we're talking about one of the most amazing years in the history of prog rock. It's 1974, and we've got the battle. Kevin's got the graphic right there. Let's look at the 4 albums we're going to be focusing in on. It's Yes Relayer. It's Camel Mirage. It's Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, and King Crimson's Red. Kevin, can you name what order Prog Archives has those for?
Ooh, I couldn't. I could guess.
Okay,
but I don't know. I'm thinking Red first, maybe.
Okay, correct. Okay, ding, 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 ding. He got number 1 correct. Okay, keep going.
Then
number 2.
Then Lamb. Nope, Relayer. Camel. Wow.
Camel Mirage at number 2. Yes.
Well, that has a warm place for a lot of people. Okay,
at number 3.
Then Genesis. No, man.
No. And they have the Lamb at number 4.
Wow.
For 1974. We may have a little bit of debate about that, but before we get into it, get into the nitty-gritty, let's meet our cast of characters. We've already talked to Kevin from Prog Radio. Kevin, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Good to be
Fantastic.
here.
And great back year. For another bite at the apple. It's the one, the only, the despised Kefir Livingston. In fact, Kefir, why do people hate you so much? I don't understand it. You seem like a nice guy to me.
I don't either. I'm nice. I look mean, but I'm friendly.
He's a friendly guy. Take my word for it. He's okay. Oh, and sitting in the square right below me, it's none other than Dr. Brent Bristow. He's a professor of music at the Arkansas State University at BB. He's also the leader of this year's band. It's Emerald City Council's Brent Bristow. Brent, how are you today?
I'm good. I've been practicing furiously, and you can see I have all of my keyboard rig behind me, and also right here I have my saxophone.
Yeah, there we go.
But if I can give a quick shout out to some of my endorsers, thanks to Jalissa and Colin for sending me this wonderful new amber finish Z custom alto. Steve from Claude Lakey for the new mouthpiece, and George and Lynn Reeder from Robner for the ligature. So they have hooked me up with brand new gear that I'm ready to go with for the show, and I'm very thankful to have good relationships with those companies, and very proud. Can't recommend their equipment.
How's that horn sounding? Is it sounding good coming out your mouth?
Yeah, we can't play music anymore, but you can play it live. They can't take us down for that.
I don't know if it's going. I played because I was practicing right before we started this, and it overpowered the microphone. So I'm sure I would be glad to give it a shot, but I'm afraid it's just going to be static.
So we've got big news. You guys, your first ever gig is going to be live in BB. What's the date on that? The 23rd, is that?
23rd, yes. It's a Tuesday. It's a free concert. There will even be free food, sponsored by Bill at the Arkansas Record and CD Exchange. Man, they have a mountain of vinyl there. If you're in Central Arkansas, you need to stop by and check it out. They literally have a hallway that is floor to ceiling of just vinyl after vinyl after vinyl. It's anything.
It sounds like a good time, man. Try to get a couple days off of work, y'all. Head down to Central Arkansas. Go to BB. You can do some vinyl hunting. You can go to see the very first ever live show of Emerald City Council on a free gig. Tell me about the venue. Is it like a decent venue?
Well, as of right now, it's going to be actually an outdoor show. So we're actually going to be outside. And also, but if there is rain, we will be moving into our auditorium. This is where Advent Horizon played when I brought them in last year, so it'll work out great. I do want to mention real quick, in addition to Jake, Noah, Seth, and Jeremy being here, we also are going to have a sixth guest member coming and joining us, a guy named Garth Yelty. You probably don't know him, but you know his work. He actually designed the entire keyboard rig and samples for the last 2 Rush tours.
Oh, wow.
And he's worked with Danny Elfman, Hans Zimmer, tons of other people. So his business, Chicken Systems, is actually a MIDI design company. That's what he does for a living, and has worked with some really major players. He actually did some work with Emerson, Lake and Palmer back in the day as well. So,
well, dang, that's a big name dropping coming.
I know, right? So we're
yeah. That's awesome stuff, man. That's why
we're excited to have him.
And that's why people tune in to the Sunday live show. This is the Church of Prog Rock for all of you that, maybe, just maybe don't go to a regular house of worship on Sunday. That's okay. That nobody says you have to do anything. You can be here with us every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Brad Stone returning to the program. Bradley, how are you? It's been a minute.
I am well. Thanks very much for having me back on the show, Scott. And it's 8 in the morning here in California, and the marine layer's in from the Monterey Bay. It's nice and cool. And I'm having my first cup of coffee and ready to go.
I'm jealous, man. I want to be where you are. I'm stuck in BFE, Ohio. This man here is like sitting on the central coast of California, just a beautiful place, a gorgeous part of the world. The people are screaming, "Where is Tara?" Garden Jester wants to know, Cody, where is Tara?
Right now, she's actually in bed.
We've heard that before, Kevin, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've heard that.
She's still on Ireland time, I think.
Yeah,
she was on with us yesterday.
But Ian's happy to see both you and Wayne on the show together again. Yeah. Wayne, the #1 YouTuber in all of Alberta. How are you today, sir?
Oh, not too bad. Nice 9:07 a.m. in the morning, waking up for this. So it's great to be back, Scott, and can't wait to talk about these 4 albums.
Yeah, these are 4 good ones, man. We were thinking about, actually, I was thinking about when I first started thinking, you know what, they're going to shut us down with copyright strikes and whatnot if we continue doing the Sunday live stream the way we were. And it's not all that inclusive, right? We can't have all our friends on all the time when we're pimping somebody's brand new album and listening to, music videos and stuff like that. But apparently we're not allowed to do that anymore. So we are going to focus on giving you guys old time entertainment, talking about a subject, really drilling down. And my instinct was to do 5 shows on 1974 because, we could do like 4 heats and the winner of each go on to that's how deep 1974 is. It's absolutely ridiculous. Behind me, I just got a little wall. We may not even talk about Kimona My House, right? Or Triumvirate, Illusions from a Double Dimple, or Griffin, or how about Starless and Bible Black? That came out that year. And on the other side, oh, I know you like that Artie and Mestieri album, Kefir. Tilt, Quella Vecchia Loconda, Hawkwind, Hall of the Mountain Grill, Straubs, Hero and Heroin came out in 1974. Kevin, what are your thoughts about 74, and how are you ranking our big 4? Which is, of course, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, Relayer, Red, and Mirage.
Yeah, well, it was a great year. I don't know how old I was, 12, 13, or whatever I was back then. But formative years. All those albums that you just mentioned, Straubs and such. Oh my gosh, such memories. So it's a great year. And then these 4, obviously tough. They're all phenomenal albums. But I was still able to rank them. I mean, they're definitely fall into a ranking for me. So you want me to go ahead and share my ranking now?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
The people want to hear from, an adult first before we get
me.
into the tomfoolery that's going to ensue hereafter.
Yeah, so I'll go through my top 4. And again, even though they're all great albums, and that's the thing when you do these, you don't feel like you're sliding anything, but they definitely have an order for me because, sometimes I looked at we talked about maybe doing a King Crimson top 4, and I look at those 4 King Crimson albums, man, that would be very difficult for me. But this one, I think I can do it. I think I'm able to put my order together. So at number 4, I'm going to go with Camel. Obviously a great monumental album for them. Probably my favorite album from them. But just not as good as the others for me. Didn't matter as much. Number 3, Relayer. Ooh. Well, they're all going to be where they're going to be, So obviously they're all great albums with so much great material and songs on them. But for me, the other 2 come in a little bit higher. Red, the top 2, very difficult for me between these top 2. But I'm going to put Red, and then I'm going to put Genesis number 1. And probably the main reason I'm going to go with Genesis there is this album came out at a certain point with me where my mother she was just starting to have some problems. So she had 5 children. So we used to rotate weeks living with my mom. And the week this album came out was my week to be with my mom. And so I sat in that basement bedroom where we would sleep when we would go spend time with her. And I just listened to this album over and over and over. And it's one of those albums you kind of have to listen to it a few times. Like the very first time you hear it, you may not get it. But absorbing that album, it just really seeped into my DNA and is one of my favorite albums of all time, period. Genesis is my favorite progressive rock band, so of course that's going to weigh into my scoring as well. So I just knee-jerk thought, well, this is the way I would go. And then I thought, well, you know what, I'll do a little double checking, and I won't go through this, but people can zoom in on it later if they want.
I'm zooming in on it now.
And I thought, well, let me look at the historical relevance, the production, the songwriting, the album cover, and I gave it a little point system. Again, I won't go through it, but people can look at it. And it came down in exactly my order with Lamb, then Red, Relayer, Mirage. So I feel comfortable with how I ended up with things. But 4 amazing albums. And like you say, you could still do another 10, 20 more.
Oh, absolutely. And guess what, boys and girls? We haven't mentioned on the air yet, but we said we've got Emerald City Council on September 21st. You know what we're doing next week? Yeah, we're not going to do a 5-week series on 1974, but we are doing 4 albums from 1974. Next Sunday, we're doing The Power and the Glory. We're doing the debut Kansas album. Oh, yeah. We're doing Crime of the Century versus Todd Rundgren's Utopia. Kevin, since you had Camel Mirage in last place, any of those 4 would you slip into the 4th?
I won't give any spoilers of what I would, but there might be 2.
Oh,
so
no,
even Relayer might be at risk.
The
the Kansas debut, Crime of the Century, these are some amazing albums. So again, and it changes from day to day, what you're feeling. Crime of the Century for me, at that time, again, I'm a young kid. I was working at a movie theater, and it was this double dome theater, 700 seats in each theater. And so we would get there at midnight every night to clean the theater, and we could bring music to play. And that's when I brought Crime of the Century. That's when I got that album. And man, I can still picture me sweeping the rows, listening to School and all these great songs. So another album that means a ton to me.
There you go. Kevin, thank you so much. We got a pretty rational explanation there. Good to see it all charted out because, if nothing else, music, is a mathematical equation, right? Kefir, what says you about these 4 albums, young man?
Hey.
Classics. Oh, Davy Cretin's in the house. Oh, we love Davy Cretin.
Hey, Scott, I just want to say you should watch the comments here because there's a fella in here that's
is this the Colton Beatty?
Yep.
What's he talking about?
He already told me to F off. And
oh no. Did he really?
Fine. Yep. Yeah, it was back.
Oh boy. I'm not seeing that. I missed that.
Seeing the Lamb is a poser album and all this sort of nonsense. So I don't know if you want to keep that around.
You know what? I'm not blocking you right now. I'm watching like a hawk. I've got my phone out. Hold on. I'm ready to block. No more nonsense.
Oh,
man.
look, I just got called Corey and a douche. That's cool. You're the wrong CB, my friend. You are the wrong.
Oh boy,
CB.
there he is. Nah, Colton. No.
It sounds like morning radio disc jockeys. Corey,
Yeah, let me get to dealing with that. Kefir, you're up. Tell me about these 4 albums while I deal with our good friend Colton.
Well, we got a comment the other day asking for no lists. So I have a list, but it's not a top 10 list. I have the 1974 recap. Remember last time I read off a bunch of things about whatever year we did? I'm going to do it again this year. So 1974, Miami Dolphins beat the Minnesota Vikings, second consecutive Super Bowl. Oakland A's beat the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series. Boston Celtics win the NBA Finals. Philadelphia Flyers beat the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals. Richard Nixon resigns as President of the United States following the Watergate scandal, replaced by Vice President Gerald Ford. Rumble in the Jungle. Muhammad Ali beats George Foreman in a boxing match. The Rubik's Cube is invented. Famous deaths: Oscar Schindler, Duke Ellington, Charles Lindbergh, Ed Sullivan, Cass Elliot. Sting wins Best Picture at the Oscars. The Sting, Godfather 2, Chinatown, Conversation, Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, Black Christmas, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre premiere. Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions wins Album of the Year at the Grammys. Billboard Song of the Year is Barbra Streisand's The Way We Were. Famous births: Leonardo DiCaprio, Christian Bale, and Jimmy Fallon. And in Prague, Michael Ackerfeld was born in March of 1974.
Wow.
Oh, there we go.
I didn't catch
My guy.
that. Good.
Out with Ed Sullivan, in with Ackerfeld.
There you go. There you go.
That's a nice trade.
Yeah, I managed to read that out fairly quickly.
That was good. That was good.
I have a few other people's lists I'm going to read off if you don't mind.
Okay.
So,
Including Davey. Do you have Davey Cretin's list?
I got Davy Cretin's list. His number 4 is Genesis. His number 3 is Camel. His number 2 is Crimson, and his number 1 is Yes.
Keep going.
So I also have Alex from Beer and Vinyl. His number 4 is also Genesis. His number 3 is Camel. His number 2 is Yes. His number 1 is Crimson. And I got one more, the other birthday boy, Ian B. about. Happy birthday, Ian.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
His number 4 is Yes. His number 3 is Camel. His number 2 is Crimson. And his number 1 is Genesis.
Good job, Ian. You got
okay.
it real close.
My number 4 is, and I should clarify, if you put a gun to my head and asked me to name my top 10 prog rock albums of all time, fair chance all 4 of these albums are making it. So I had to think, and there's one of these bands that just, you didn't hear about all the time, and that's Camel. So I had to put them at number 4. I love this album. It's Camel's best album. I don't think there's really much of a debate about that. Free Fall is just one of the greatest album openers ever.
Mm-hmm.
Great instrumentals. Super Twister, that track is so cool. Earthrise, the other one. I don't have notes, so I'm just going off memory. Nimrod L, Lady Fantasy, 2 of the greatest tracks ever, really.
So good.
But it's my number 4, so deal with it.
Christopher's not going to be happy with a bunch of us, probably.
He'll be happy with me.
Well, I mean, you never heard Camel on like radio ever, or never heard them talking about. So, but anywho, my number 3 is the Genesis. I asked a bunch of people that are on the panel who couldn't make it today for vote. I think pretty much everybody put this at number 4, and I think they're smoking crack because I don't really think there's that much filler here. I mean, there is some filler-ish stuff, but it's still really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So, and it's better than most of the stuff you see. And I kind of doze off at side 4 a little bit, but just the first record is perfect. I don't think there's any argument about that. It could play the whole thing the way through. Side 3's also great. A couple tracks on side 4, but Riding the Scree is the GOAT of Tony Banks keyboard solos. That thing is just so good. I love that solo so much. I love it too. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. And I love how much Steve Hackett's on this album. There's more Hackett on here than on any other Genesis album. And I love Steve Hackett, especially because this Colton dude in the comments doesn't like Steve Hackett. Yeah.
He's been dealt with.
Yeah, that's my number 3. My top 2, actually my bottom 2 are super close. My top 2 are super close. But my number 2 is Crimson. I had this on last night in the car up here, and it was awesome. Does Providence get on my nerves? Absolutely. It's good. I don't mind it, but I mean, after about 7 or 8 minutes of that, I'm like, can we get to the next track now? But everything else is. I started to think, were there any metal albums released in 1974? And there was no Sabbath album released in 74. So I had to think King Crimson Red is maybe the only album in 1974 that could qualify as a metal record. It's just so. I would have loved to have been alive in 1974 and heard this when it came out, and just imagine seeing people's faces at just how freaking heavy this record is.
And you talk to these metal guys, they all love this album. They were influenced by this album. So it's an early metal album in my mind.
Yeah.
Another thing that
I can back that up.
Another thing that nobody mentioned is that 2 of these albums are largely instrumental. The Camel and the Crimson. If you add up the minutes, there's 2 instrumental tracks on both. There's sparse vocals here and there. So, but I mean, Fallen Angel's great. One More Red Nightmare. I have a tie for my favorite Crimson track between Starless and Fracture, off Starless and Bible Black, which are my 2 favorite Crimson albums. So yeah, I just had to think. I mean, Starless is what I would imagine the transition from the slow to the transition when it builds up in Starless. That is what I imagine Hard Drugs feel like. The Butterfly Ball, Ronnie James
Absolutely,
Dio.
Man. First time I ever heard some dude named Ronnie James Dio sing.
You guys see that video I sent in the Prog Corner chat of Ronnie James Dio on acid and he's animated and he's dancing around the forest. Oh, yeah. All right, I'll shut up now. My number 1 is Yes. It's just a perfect album. Gates of Delirium, one of the best epics ever. The Soon in Gates of Delirium. So good. So good. Sound Chaser is my second favorite Yes track of all time after Close to the Edge. That song is just so good. And the ending of that is so good too. To Be Over. So it's just a totally perfect album. A Desert Island Disc are close for me. So yeah, that's my 4. I'll shut up now. Happy birthday, Scott.
Very nice. Hey, nothing I like better than dealing with trolls on my birthday. Thank you for the birthday presents, trolls. I appreciate it. It's fun.
At the end, circle back around and I'll tally up the votes and we'll get the consensus of the.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Hey, we got Brent Bristow here. You know, we had Kevin, the smooth professional, the mature adult in the panel, and we get Kefir. But how about the academic mind? How does he take on these 4 great albums? Brent, I'm really interested in your take here.
Okay, well, my take is that my number 4 would be Camel, and I'm going to be real honest. I haven't heard much Camel that really grabbed me. And it's been a long time, so maybe I should go back and hearing so many of you talk so fondly of it. I'm going, okay, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I should go back, but. I think that one of my old roommate, who was a drummer, I think he had some of their stuff, and I just kind of went, I don't know that that's really for me. So honestly have not listened to that album all the way through. So maybe I should give it another chance. So that would be my number 4 of these. Of course, of some of the ones that you mentioned that you would be talking about next week, there would be many of those that I would put a little higher at this point. My number 3 would be Red, and it's been a while since I've listened to that one. And honestly, I really kind of prefer the Starless and Bible Black. That one, I listened to both of those about the same time, and that one really grabbed me. You know, Great Deceiver right at the very beginning was just, you know, so visceral. I just really got into that album and just listened to it over and over again. I think if I remember correctly, I bought both of those CDs at the same time and really just gravitated toward the Starless and Bible Black.
Or how about this, Brent Bristow?
Yeah.
How about replacing Providence with Fracture?
Oh, ouch.
And now look at Red and tell me that wouldn't be the greatest
album.
album.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll give you that one. Yeah. Maybe we need to make a playlist there. Okay. And then my number 2 would be Genesis. And of course, you know, I'm a huge Peter Gabriel fan and love everything that he did with Genesis for sure. With that album, you know, of course, you know, there are, correct me if I'm wrong here, but there are a lot of stories in that about that they were in the middle of mixing and Gabriel still writing lyrics and putting them in vocal tracks and trying to get it all done at the last minute, and seemed to have some production issues because of that. And I did, and echoing what Kefir said is that, particularly when you get to the second album, it did kind of feel like in some places that there's some filler stuff that I kind of want to skip over to get to, you know, some of the better stuff. And so because of that, now they actually did one, which is funny because one of my favorite things is when they did the box set, you know, of the early Genesis stuff a few years ago, and they released a live version of that, and they had to redo it because it got cut off. I think I actually prefer that better, and part of it is because of the production was just better on it, but also I don't know, I felt like it had a little more energy to the performance and seemed to flow a little bit better. So I actually think I prefer that version a little bit better. If you were talking the live version, my number 1 might be a little different there. But then my number 1 would have to be Relayer. I remember, I think I was a freshman in college when I found the cassette of this one, and my friends got sick of listening to it. You know, this would have been, you know, 1988, 1989. Everybody was listening to NXS and Bon Jovi and stuff like that. Every time they'd get in my car, I'd pop in Gates of Delirium, and they were like, "Oh man, not this again!" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely, every road trip is going to have this." And so that was
from Scott Barber, yeah. Oh, he even spelt my name right.
Yeah,
love it.
So yeah, I just have such fond memories of that entire album, and the other thing about it is that it's and I don't know if it's because of the Patrick Moraz influence or what, but it's just so different than anything else they ever did.
That is why
it's such a unique album, and you know, I remember, you know, that was very early. You know, like I was listening to Yes songs religiously at that point, and was really starting getting into it, and you know, had heard Fragile and the Yes album and everything, and then just hearing that was just like, whoa, where did this come from? And you know, it's such an interesting transition up to going for the one, which I think we talked about last time. But yeah, it was definitely for me. That's of these 4, that's definitely going to be my top 1.
Awesome. Zev brings up Magma, which I was something about 1974 that I was going to bring up. Is there were a couple of acts that put out multiple great albums in 1974, right? You had Magma. Well, one of them was a Christian Vander record, but they later on kind of consider that a Magma record. Peter Hamill put out 2 great records, the Empty Stage and the Silent Corner, and In Camera. How about Queen with Queen 2 and Sheer Heart Attack? Both came out in 74. So it wasn't just King Crimson putting out 2 great albums in 1974. I know I'm forgetting. There's a couple more. Hey, Naomi from 365 Days of Prague is here. Oh, we love you, Naomi. Yep. Absolutely, we do. Yeah, I can't think of what the other one was right now. But yeah, there you go. Silent Corner, Empty Stage, and In Camera. They're both 10 out of 10 records. Absolutely, they are. Hey, Brad, it's good to have you back on the show, man.
It's wonderful to be back. Thanks for the invitation. I've been really excited about this episode, and I started thinking right away when I got the word from Kefir about how I would order these things.
Yeah.
And it seemed, initially like an impossible task. But I came up with the idea of, first of all, I think we can all agree, 4 masterpieces, right? So I came up with the idea of, instead of trying to rate them or rank them in terms of musical greatness, I'm going to rank them in terms of what's the likelihood that I would reach out and play one of these records in 2025. Okay. Now I'm going to go with my top one first, because to me, this is a masterpiece of masterpieces. And and I have a very special relationship with this particular album because, and like Kevin, Genesis is my favorite progressive rock band of all time. I mean, hands down. And in 1974, when they toured this, now when they opened up in the United States in Chicago at the Great Chicago Auditorium, which is one of the world's most acoustically perfect venues. But the album hadn't come out yet. You guys may know this. And so here we're not knowing, what to expect. I had seen the previous tour, Selling England, which was phenomenal. And so here we are, and they performed the entire Lamb from start to finish, complete with the slideshows, and they had handed out to everybody the liner notes of the album. So everybody in the audience, I still got them somewhere in a box, but that was mind blowing, wow. to see that. And then they really loved Chicago, and they decided to add on a finale show in Chicago. It was at the Airy Crown Theater at McCormick Place. Not quite as acoustically great as the auditorium, but still, I got to see the Lamb twice live. So I don't think there's many people that can say that.
That's
to
amazing.
Me,
awesome.
This is.
I'm not jealous at all, man. That's great.
It's my obvious number one. I'm anxiously awaiting my 50th anniversary box set. I think it's one of the. Well, no, I'm going to say as double albums go, I think it's the greatest rock double album of all time. I'll just say that categorically. There's other close contenders, but okay. So now number 2, what would I most likely listen to? And for me, sorry, I'm fumbling around here. Camel, Mirage.
Oh yeah.
Now I think Camel is one of the great underrated progressive rock groups of all time. I adore Camel. I think it's a great album. I would be more likely to put that on than the last two. And again, those are both masterpieces as well. Just as an aside for Brent, I pulled out a couple of more recent Camel albums, well, relatively more recent, that I think everybody should check out. When people talk about, the great Camel albums, they're often talking about those 70s albums. Yeah. But they've put out some really fine stuff after that. Stationary Traveler, which came out in 1984, which with the great Ton Scherpenzeel on keyboards. He was from Kayak, and I thought he was the perfect fit. The only problem is he didn't like to tour. He doesn't fly. So, but some great work from Ton. And then the last studio album that they did, which I think it was 2002, but A Nod and a Wink. This is a masterpiece. It's a beautiful album, and I would highly recommend that people check this one out. This one is
Auckland.
The keyboard player was the late Guy LeBlanc from Canada, and some really masterful work. And yeah, Rajaz is great too, but I just wanted to mention a couple of them. All right,
Damn
so
the
what's my
Canadians,
number 3? So my
Yeah.
number 3, I would go with Yes's Relayer. It's a brilliant album. I always felt like I would have loved to hear one more album with Patrick Moraz, because he did bring a different element to the band. But then, if we did have one more album with Patrick Moraz, maybe we wouldn't have gotten Awaken with Rick Wakeman, which to me is the greatest Yes track of all time. So, these last two, the Yes Relayer and King Crimson Red, to me, the reason that I wouldn't reach out and listen to them, let's say, as often, they take work to listen to. You know, it's not something that you're going to put on in the background, or it's not something that I would put on to relax. It's something that, you know, really demands your attention. And that's the way I feel about Red, which is my number 4. Brilliant album. I love Dr. Bill Bruford. I love John Wetton as musicians. It's this kind of middle period King Crimson, great stuff. I don't remember the last time I reached out. I got this 40th anniversary edition. I don't think I've listened to it yet. It's just, it's intense, you know, it's powerful stuff. It's brilliant, but not something that I would reach out to play as often as, say my top 2. So there you have it.
There you go. And there's so many different ways to break these records down, especially when you're dealing with, I look at 1974 and there's probably 20 to 25 albums I would give a 10 out of 10 score to. It's ridiculous. I had no idea how good 1974 was until last year when I did my ranking of 1974, and I was like, man, I could do a top 100 easy. It's insane.
The other thing that I think is interesting is bands. A lot of them, I think they peaked there as well. Like some of their best albums were from bands were from that year.
Yeah,
there was something in the water.
I mean, these guys did so well on this record that Robert Fripp called it quits after.
Sadly.
What else?
And with Genesis, when you think about this album, and those guys were in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
And how they came up with those musical ideas is just, phenomenal.
Agreed. It blows my mind. I don't know how they do it. Wayne, do you know how you're going to rank these 4 records? I have a feeling that I'm going to have to probably call you out at some point here.
Oh, probably, Scott. I know my lists are always wrong. But there is a couple other bands that released 2 albums in 1974 I thought deserve mention. Kiss, their debut in Hotter Than Hell, came out in 74.
Both 74?
Yeah,
they did.
And Deep Purple's Burn and Stormbringer.
Yeah. That's right. Deep Purple, 74. Burn and Stormbringer. That's the one I was thinking of. And for some reason, I was thinking the Kiss debut was 74 and Hotter Than Hell was 75. But
I always think that too.
My bad. You learn something new every day. All right. What else you got, Wayne?
Alrighty. So coming into this, like everyone said, these albums are masterpieces. So it's really hard to really rank them. But I kind of went through here, kind of like Brad did. How often will I put these on? And that's usually my judge for how good an album is whether or not I want to listen to it. So for me, number 4, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
It's getting a lot of last place votes.
I'm not a huge double album fan in general because I find a lot of them do have filler on them. And I don't know, it just, for some reason, The Lamb. Carpet Crawlers, absolutely fantastic. Fly in the Windshield. Great stuff. Like you guys said, Steve Hackett's guitar, very prominent throughout this album.
Yep.
Tony Banks as well. But yeah, like, it's just an album that, I could never really get into the whole thing. But hey, maybe it'll come with time, maybe later down the road. Number 3, Red by King Crimson. Like, it is a very demanding list, and there's parts to it I really like about it. Like I do agree. If they took Providence off that album and put maybe something from Starless and Bible Black on there, it would have probably been like even better album. But the musicianship on it is fantastic. I love Bill Bruford's drumming, no matter what he's in. And also with John Wetton's bass and vocals, like Starless to me is one of the greatest songs ever written.
Oh yeah.
Any band.
Top 10 of all time for me.
Next album, Mirage by Camel. I hadn't listened to Camel about till 2 years ago, and then I put it on and just absolutely fell in love with Andy Latimer's guitar playing. And the thing I love about Camel is every album from pretty much this point on, they're adding a new element to each album afterwards. But the musicianship on here is just insane. I know Brad brought out some other Camel albums. One I think that is absolutely underrated is Nude from 1980.
Yeah, Nude is great.
That is my favorite all-time Camel album because that album just flows start to finish. But number one for me, Relayer by Yes. Jeff Shilka can be happy. Another Yes vote for number one. But there is something about that album, The Gates of Delirium. At the beginning, it feels like such a sonic whirlwind of what the heck is going on here. But then when it hits to Soon, and just that ending, Steve Howe's slide guitar on the end of that is just phenomenal.
It is phenomenal, but not as phenomenal as The Residents. Oh, yeah, Zeb, good call. I totally forgot that The Residents' first album came out in 74.
Yeah.
Amazing. What a cool record. I love early Residents so much.
Yeah, so that's my list, Scott. I know you said I'm probably dead wrong on...
No, dead wrong. The Lamb at number 4. I know Kiefer's keeping score here, and it's kind of looking like the Lamb's in a little bit of trouble.
Lamb has been number 1 by me, Brad, and Ian. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, Lamb has...
Right, I forgot about Ian's vote.
Lamb has 3 first-place votes so far. Relayer has 4. And I think Crimson has 1, and the Camel has 0 first place.
You see,
you know what's interesting with Lamb is as we've been sitting here talking about it, and I'm thinking, okay, let's think favorite songs from each of these albums. I would put 3 songs ahead of my favorite song from Lamb, 1 from each of these albums. I would put Starless ahead of anything on Lamb. I would put Lady Fantasy ahead of anything. I put Delirium ahead of anything. So song for song, these other albums. That's the one thing missing from Lamb to me is that absolutely In the Cage, maybe, Maybe. So, but yet as a whole, as an embodiment, that 2-album thing is still Lamb for me.
Well, and I realized that when I was a kid, had all my vinyl. I'm 14 years old when Daddy announces, "Hey, guess what? You're dropping out of school. We're moving on to a sailboat." And, by this point, I got like 200 albums, I'm a little kid, but I'm already in deep, right? And so I'm frantically trying to put all this stuff on cassettes, right? So I'm making my best of tapes, like of all my favorite bands. And I'm making a best of Genesis, and I'm thinking, why aren't any of these songs from The Lamb ending up there? It's only truly great in its entirety from start to finish. You gotta sit through all of it to understand it, and once you get it, you get it. Apparently, we've got a few people that don't get it, and I think Camel is not getting any first place votes here because we don't have any UK panelists. I think if we did, maybe the scales would tip a little bit more their way because Camel got no love in the North American markets at all. There are always lawsuits about cigarette pack album covers or people just not jiving with the name or whatnot. But in the UK, I think they understood the greatness of Andy Latimer a little bit more than we got it. Cody, what is your take on all this?
I have a question for Cody before he does his list. So.
Sure.
What other artist had 2 albums in '74 that has not been mentioned, I don't believe, that is Cody's Gotta Get It. The reason I looked it up is I go, wait a minute, this artist had like 3 albums every year, and that's Zappa. So I looked it up, and he did have Apostrophe and Roxy were both in '74.
Oh yeah, Roxy. Yeah,
Amazing. I'm gonna tell you,
but I don't count Roxy.
If either of those were in today's list, they would be number 1. But they're not. So yeah, I didn't even realize that, but you're right. Thinking about it, it's like, oh yeah, Frank Zappa, and of course, R.I.P.
And again, Apostrophe. I think a lot of people, commercially anyway, that was kind of a peak for him. Was that album?
It was his first
Flo
gold
and
album.
Eddie. Flo and Eddie.
R.I.P. to Mark Volman.
Yeah.
That's a sad loss indeed.
Turtles.
Yeah.
But
I
we're
saw
gonna
them
go
live.
ahead. We're gonna go ahead with my list here now, and I hope Colton is still watching.
Be nice.
Oh yeah, I'm just playing. So I did this the same way that that Wayne did and Brad did, where it's just about how often I reach for them. But I'm gonna go the way Wayne did, in the sense that I'm gonna go from like the least to most, if you will. But let me start off by saying all 4 of these albums are absolutely fantastic. I couldn't, in the right mind, actually change anything about these records. And this is just how I'm feeling today. Any other day, it could be a different ranking. But to start us off is King Crimson. Okay. I'm going to start off with King Crimson. And by the way, Scott, because I forgot to say it before we went on the stream, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you. 63, Cody. Can you believe it?
No. The music keeps you young.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting pick for you, Cody, being kind of the metal guy, one of the metal guys on the panel.
Yeah.
I do. I love this record to absolute bits. I'm probably a bigger fan of Lark's Tongues and Aspic, but there's tracks on this that are absolutely breathtaking, of course. All of side 1. It's been a very long time since I've heard Providence, and it has not been a long time. It has not been a long time since I've heard Starless. So, And also, for those that don't know, Neil Morris and Mike Portnoy did an amazing cover of Starless on Neil Morris's cover-to-cover album, and it is fantastic. But wow, it's one of the ultimate pieces of just full-on jazz, fusion, prog rock, whatever you want to call it. It's just absolutely nuts. So I mean, this is just my ranking and how often I listen to each album individually. Next up.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off there, Cody, but it's dono time. Oh yeah, there you go.
I think that comes to like. I think that comes to
people.
You see,
Kiefer, American.
The people love you, Kefir.
That's my uncle. That's why he's donating.
Awesome.
I didn't know if you wanted people to know that. I knew that.
Next up.
His uncle may not want people to know that.
Yeah, right.
Next up, we got Genesis, my favorite band of all time. I've heard some people here mention my favorite progressive rock band. They're my favorite band ever.
Better than Metallica?
They're right there with Queen, the Beatles, Metallica. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I love Genesis. And, look, the guitar player even drew on this one.
Nice.
Steve Hackett, everyone's favorite, right? I actually love Steve Hackett's contributions to this thing, especially when you get on to the second half of the album. It really turns into a Steve Hackett extravaganza. At one point, you get tracks like Anyway, The Supernatural Anesthetist.
Yeah.
I really love stuff like that. The Lamia, especially the live versions that Steve plays with Steve Rothery. It's incredible, and I'm gonna go see him play this in a few weeks. So
yeah, we should mention that they just released their version, their live recording of Lamb, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I haven't heard it yet, but I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna hear it live in a few weeks, and so it's gonna be awesome. But this is really all of them kind of coming together as a 5-piece, and everyone's writing stuff, and everyone's having ideas, and on some tracks it works, and some tracks maybe not as much, but it still all flows and it's part of the greater whole. You know what I mean? It's a long album, right? It's a long record, but it's very rewarding when you do listen to it, and it is very, very good. And it is one of the best Genesis albums for sure. Next up is, okay, so if you had asked me this like 2 years ago, my ranking would have been very different. I'm new to Camel, but their 70s work has really just kind of taken me within the last year or so. And so because of how much I've listened to this, even just in the last year, I have to say Mirage comes in at number 2 for me. I just think this is fantastic. And what was I missing in all the years that I was like, oh,
Tara. You were missing Tara to turn you on to that.
To be fair now, Brent, I understand like where you came from, because that was me for a long time. I think I'd heard some of their later stuff and was like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm not a fan of the 80s stuff as much, et cetera, et cetera. But then I went back and actually a friend of mine introduced me to Moon Madness, and I was like, okay, this is amazing. And then Tara comes along, and then I'm hearing Mirage, and I haven't stopped hearing Mirage because it's fantastic, and I just became obsessed with it. And it's a really, really, really good record. Some people,
Zeb just chimed in about Brian Eno having 2 records in '74. Once again, here I am. I was thinking, Here Come the Warm Jets was 74 and Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy was 75. But apparently, I don't have any way to look it up. I don't have my phone with me today. But apparently, there you go. That's a good call, Zeb. I love those records. Those first 4 Eno albums. That's prog rock right there. I don't care what anybody says.
Cool. Right on. Yeah, some people have a bone to pick with some of the vocals and things like that. Fair enough, but I don't have any issue with this record. I think Peter Barden.
No problem with that album at all.
In particular, Camel, the Peter Barden's era is really it's a gem. It really is. And all the records that they made, and even a couple of the ones that they made after he left, like I Can See Your House From Here, that's all really good stuff. But this album is the Camel album for me. Just my opinion. I really like this record a lot. And I do have the vinyl, but I couldn't pull it out fast enough. So you got the new Dolby Atmos DVD CD combo. And number 1, you already know what it is. Jeff Shilka is going to be happy with this. This is not only the number 1 battle of 1974, but it's in the top 3 Yes albums ever for me. This is just an amazing record. If it had any flaws, and it doesn't, it is completely flawless. But if it did have, it would just be that the battle sounds are maybe too loud in the mix. Other than that, the battle itself is perfect. Everything else about this is
the people must love you, Cody. Look, another dono while you're speaking.
Yeah, there you go. How much is that?
Thank you, sir. All the way from Sweden. I think that's what SEK is, right?
How much does that equate to American?
I don't know. It looks hefty.
Well, you're going to learn today.
21
You're going to learn today.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't say too much more about this because it's already been covered. But I mean, the addition of Patrick Moraz coming from the refugee stuff and then going into this, he brought it with him, man. I mean, I don't think he even knew that this was going to be his only record with the band, but it's like it just seems that he brought the heat. I mean, he wrote the main riff to Sound Chaser, you know. And obviously Soon being one of the greatest things that this band ever did, and To Be Over being a really nice somber way to end the record. It's a masterpiece. It is an absolute masterpiece.
It is. It's a true masterpiece. Absolutely. Hey, you know, I welcome and thank everyone for sending in donations today. It's been good. The money's rolling in, boys and girls. Keep it coming. Your boy needs it. You know what else has been rolling in is free stuff. Sony sent me a couple things. I'm pretty excited about the new Between the Buried and Me CD. Have you heard this thing yet?
No,
there's some growling on there.
Yeah, there's some death growls.
There's some growl, but the other single's great.
You're with it, princesses.
I prefer this. Look what they sent me.
Yeah.
The new Arjun Anthony Lucasen. And this thing's amazing. amazing. I keep thinking of Styx
Yeah.
Okay.
when I hear it. I've never thought of Styx once when I listen to his music, so I'm really, really intrigued. I'll be listening to that a whole bunch. Oh, and they sent me this too. It's the new live album. Oh, this is going in my car right away. Thank you, Sony, for hooking your boy up. You know, I like vinyl too, but you know, I like CDs because I can put them in my car. So I am not hating on it. Not one bit.
That beat is one of the best concerts I've ever seen. And getting to meet the guys was absolutely tremendous, but you're going to love that.
Oh, yeah.
You're
yeah. I've been watching the YouTube videos all the way through the tour. Just amazing. Absolutely incredible. Let's talk about my thoughts on 1974 real quick. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I just pulled a couple records. These are records we're not going to be talking about today. Just like we're not going to be talking about Todd Rundgren's Utopia or Kansas or Supertramp Crime of the Century, or what's the fourth one? Gentle Giant, The Power and the Glory. Kefir, you mentioned Stevie Wonder winning a Grammy in 74, but he released this in 74. Oh, yeah. Fulfillness's first finale. Probably his absolute stone cold masterpiece. I love it. Queen 2 and Sheer Heart Attack, I mentioned already. Both came out in 74. Speaking of Styx, their last Wooden Nickel album, Man of Miracles, came out. This was right before they got, signed to A&M and became big old superstars and whatnot. But I love this album. This is a great record. They mentioned it in the comments. I'll mention it here. The great second album from Mike Oldfield, Hergest Ridge, completely overshadowed by Tubular Bells and Omadon. Probably rightly so, because they're better. But Hergest Ridge is great. It really is. Hamburger Concerto from Focus. Amazing record. A lot of great Italian prog came out in 74. How about Big Lieto Perla Inferno? Oh, man, I love this record. Kind of like Italian Jethro Tull a little bit. Le Orme's Contrapunti. This is probably my favorite album from Le Orme. Love it. Kayak's second album. Uriah Heep put out a really terrible album, though.
Yes.
I hate this album. I just,
Bad album cover, too.
Because it's a live album, I almost forgot Rick Wakeman put this out in 74. Journey to the Center of the Earth. Pretzel Logic came out in 74.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Duncan McKay. We were talking about Camel, but he was in Camel for a little while, played with Kate Bush. His first solo album came out only in South Africa.
Wow.
In 1974. Called Chimera. I love Aerosmith, maybe because I'm an American. It is not maybe. It's definitely because I'm an American, but their second album, Rings.
That's a great record, man.
I love it, man. Train kept rolling. Forget about it. We've been talking about Relayer all day long. Patrick Moraz. Refugee came out in 74 too. So Patrick Moraz had a great 1974. Renaissance, Turn of the Cards.
They're best.
Apostrophe has been mentioned, should be mentioned. Just amazing. PFM.
Excellent.
Both the English and the Italian version of this record came out in 74. Tangerine Dream, Phaedra. You guys been mentioning. Yeah. The first Hatfield in the North. Oh. Probably my favorite Canterbury album. I can't get enough of this album. I love it. It's incredible.
What a year.
Chicago 7.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps their proggiest album. Well, maybe their fusion-iest album. I don't know. But it's amazing. Nobody's mentioned War Child. Yeah. I've been reading the comments, not one person. And finally, the Eluciphalics, one and only album. If you love Italian prog, you already know this album. But boys and girls, it's time for me to bust out my top 4 from 1974. Would I replace my number 4? with Kansas's debut album? I absolutely would. You guys know how much I love Kansas, but at number 4, I got Camel Mirage. I'm an American. I came late to this band. I saw their album covers, like, you know how it was on the inner sleeves, like when you bought a Rolling Stones album or Moody Blues and you popped it open and you saw like the other records available on that label. And I kept seeing this album cover, right? And it kind of got me thinking about them, but I never really listened to them until the 80s. So maybe that's why I got them in 4th place. But this is Camel's absolute stone cold masterpiece. Don't get it twisted. Snow Goose is great. Moon Madness is great. Nude is great. Raj is great. I mean, I like them all, but this is their best. And I got it at number 4. That's really sad. You know what's really, really even worse is that I got King Crimson Red in 3rd place. It's Providence, boys and girls. I just can't. The dude can't abide. I just got a problem with it, man. Side 1 is absolutely perfect. 3 perfect songs. Streamlined down to a 3-piece. I remember when this came out, man, you're thinking, well, you know, it's only 3 of them now. You know, Larks was a 5-piece, and then Stars of Bible Black was a 4-piece, now a 3-piece. What's it going to be, a duo next? No, he just cancels the band. But what a way to go out, right? At the time, we thought Starless was going to be the last notes we ever heard from King Crimson. And if that would have been the case, kind of would have been like the perfect ending to an amazing band. But that's all right, because I love Discipline.
Well, and Scott, one thing I want to say about that album is Bill Bruford is so good. Robert Fripp had to get 3 drummers to replace him.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know, Bill Bruford is the guy that teaches metronomes how to keep time. Absolutely, he is. In 2nd place, the only time I can put a Genesis album ahead of a Yes album is 1974. I got Relayer in 2nd place. And the reason Yes is my favorite band of all time. I consider Relayer to be one of the, you know, greatest runs of records of all time, from the Yes album to Relayer. Those 5 albums, just that 5 album run will never be touched again. But there's something about you touched on the Cody talked about the war sound effects and stuff like that maybe being a bit harsh. I just think overall the production on this is just a little weird. It was recorded in, you know, Chris Squire's country estate, you know, with the equipment that was being borrowed, and, you know, Eddie Offord trying to use his mobile stuff. It sounds like it. It really does. It's a step down in sound quality, which when you're thinking about side 1 totally works. That whole, you know, Tolstoy War and Peace kind of thing. Okay, it makes sense. But, you know, with Sound Chaser and To Be Over, I think the production, you know, maybe catches up to it just a little bit. I'm sorry, but that is why I've got at number 1, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Some people say that the production gets a little weird, particularly sides 3 and 4. Yeah, there were some time constraints. They actually did have to rush it a little bit. And you do hear a little bit of that when, you know, some people don't like side 4. One of our panelists didn't like side 4. Some people specifically point out it as being kind of an anticlimactic ending. Wrong on both points. Absolutely dead wrong on both points. It absolutely sticks the landing in a way that no other record could. Not only does it end the tale of Rael and his brother John, but it ends the tale of Peter Gabriel's existence in the band. We wouldn't hear from him again until he was crying about Salisbury Hill. But this is the record right here that cements Genesis's place as one of the greatest bands in the history of mankind. It's a double album. It's absolutely perfect. There is no filler. For those of you that think there is, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. I absolutely love The Lamb. There's only one album I love more. In the entire universe, there's only one album I love more. You guys know which one that is.
It's Tales.
Yes, indeed, My Mighty Tales from Topographic Oceans. But next week we're gonna have a good one as we talk about our next four records.
Did Kefir keep the totals?
Yes, I have the totals.
Should we get those from Kefir?
Let's hear.
Make sure. Remember, Scott is the host, so you triple his points.
Yeah.
and he's the birthday boy, so you double them on top of the triple.
Yeah.
Just so the viewers know how I do this, every album that gets a fourth place vote gets 1 point. Every album that gets a first place vote gets 4 points. That's the way it works in the other two. So in fourth place with 19 points, we have Camel Mirage. In third place with 24 points, we have King Crimson Red. In second place with 26 points, we have The Lamb. And with 31 points in the lead, first place, Yes Relayer. Yes got 5 first place votes. Genesis got 4. Crimson got 1. Camel got 0 first place votes.
Wow. Interesting.
I demand a recount.
So Scott, so here's my question for you, Scott. What's your favorite song from all 4 of these albums?
Starless.
Okay, what would be your second favorite and your third? And I would contest you may be down to number 4 before you grab something from Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny how
Isn't
that
that
works.
weird?
Absolutely. But taken as a whole, in its entirety, there's just something magical for me about Peter Gabriel finally taking control, right? I mean, it was ridiculous. Let's be honest. The way Genesis was functioning was absolutely ridiculous. You had the 3 charter house boys all bickering and fighting and wanting to write lyrics and stuff like that. You had Steve and Phil cowering in a corner, just hoping they weren't going to get fired today. And, finally, Pete said, enough is enough. I'm writing all the lyrics on this record. You boys, put that in your pipe and smoke it, just like old King Cole, and came out with an absolute masterpiece. And I love it. And I think it's where I think maybe Genesis is not my favorite band because they were maybe too democratic. And that's why I love The Lamb. Why it's my favorite Genesis album. It's the one album where somebody kind of was taking total control of the band. Obviously, that guy was Peter. The rest of the band weren't too happy about it. So out goes Peter. And the rest, as they say, is history. But, man, 1974, just absolutely ridiculous. And that's why we're going to revisit it again next Sunday. Oh, it's going to be amazing. My thanks to the panel. This was a great show. Who's with me next weekend?
I'll see you.
Be there, Scott.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Brent, you going to be? Are you going to be busy next week?
No, I can probably swing it. I'll double check. Yeah.
Well,
But, I do have to say we did not mention in '74 the debut Rush album.
That is true.
And not Prague, of course, and then of course, I'm very ashamed that you did not realize that was also the year of the debut album of the Bay City Rollers. How could you miss that? I mean, come on.
For shame. Absolutely.
I know. But no, definitely the Rush album. If what's going to come from them a couple of months later is definitely going to be a game changer after that album.
And nobody on the panel mentioned Gong's You. Excellent record. Several people in the panel did. So congratulations to you guys.
Hey, for Scott and Brent.
What is that? What are you holding up, Cody? What is that? Let me make you big.
So
there it is. 1974.
There it is. Yeah.
In Canada, Rush were on Anthem Records.
Right.
Before they got the deal with Anthem, they made this record, and they were with a very small label called Moon Records.
Right.
And Moon Records pressed about 500 copies of this first album, and I've got one of them right here.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's
What's
the
that going for, Cody?
Hey, this is a question for Scott and Brent. Would if Hotter Than Hell were on this list, where would it go?
Oh, it would. What? I don't. I mean, that album was. I mean, Going Blind. Come on, it has some good songs on it, but I mean, it's no Destroyer for sure. I don't know that I would.
It's the ugly duckling of early Kiss albums.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's their best 70s record.
I love the artwork. It's one of the best albums.
Probably my number 3 or my number 4. It would have been. It would have been up there. Great.
Wow.
Album.
You see. I'm on record as saying the first 6 Kiss albums are absolutely incredible, and I love them. So Hotter Than Hell is great, but I have a soft spot for Dress to Kill.
Yeah. It's a good one. And the debut is.
Oh yeah, the songs on the debut. If that thing were just produced just a little bit better.
Yeah. My favorite Kiss album overall is Creatures of the Night. because
Oh,
of being
boy.
a metal guy.
Oh boy.
Oh, no Ace. No Ace. It's not worth
And
it.
you know, Bryan Adams wrote the best song on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah. And we're digressing. We're talking about Kiss. It's
Yeah.
obviously time to sign off.
When's our
Thank you
top
guys
10
for
Kiss
joining me
show?
on my birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy
birthday,
birthday
Scott.
to
Happy
you.
birthday,
Happy
Scott.
birthday to you.
Yeah, this was a great
We'd sing
game.
happy birthday to you, but then we'd get
Nah.
you hit with a copyright strike.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. So, Kevin, Kefir, Brent, Brad, Wayne, Cody, thank you so much. Kevin, you've got a promo, right? You want to talk about?
Well, yeah,
what's going on?
just Wednesdays. We're now doing this thing only in the Wizards Forest, where we sprinkle in some classic rock with our classic, because that's our station that does mostly classic prog. So we're sprinkling in a little Doors and Beatles and Stones and The Who and stuff all day, 24 hours a day, every single Wednesday. And it's a lot of fun. I picked 50 songs 500 songs are in that database to sprinkle in. We can only sprinkle about 50 a weekend. So you'd have to listen all 24 hours for 10 weeks to hear every single song. So that's pretty good. And then this Friday, we got our second edition of Can You Dig It with Ian and the crew and Cody and Tara and Matt. So that we recorded that yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So we're excited for that on Friday.
Matt looks angry in that picture.
He's the dude. He's our dude, man. He's playing.
Dude, man.
He's in concert on that photo.
Obviously, he's in the middle of Guitar Face there.
Yeah.
Anyway, for all my fabulous, wonderful panelists, what a fantastic way to spend my 63rd birthday with all you lovely people around the world. I love you. Peace in the Middle East. Free Tibet. Free Ukraine. Free your mind. Free beer. Free Willie. God save the king. Oh boy. We're going to save that king if it's the last thing we do. Bring that boy to America. Oh, yeah. Bring him to Ohio, Kefir, even better. We know what to do with a king like that. Oh, yeah. We'll pastor him up real good. We got those good pastors over here in Ohio. Kefir can tell you a thing or two about that. Oh, yeah. Bring him to Ohio. We'll do spells and incantations, thoughts and prayers. Oh, yeah, but my good buddy Billy Bob's got something for that king. He does. You know what he's got, Kefir?
I don't know. Snakes?
He's got rattlesnakes. Oh, yes, he does. King Chucky's got them rattlesnakes. I love you guys. I'll see you next Sunday. Peace.
Go Bengals.
Go Bucks.
No.
All right.